Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Girivaradari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janara Jana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janara Jana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Namam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastapreshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtakim. So today we're reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrta. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we're reading from Madhya Leela, chapter 8. Let's see, text 92. Well, they said they finished on 91. Let's see. 91. Yeah, text 91. So this is the talks between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy, conversations they're having. And Lord Chaitanya is asking questions to Ramananda Roy, and Ramananda Roy is giving the answers to his questions, and thus expounding the complete philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Of course, Ramananda Roy has taken the humble position, and he's saying that he's just speaking whatever Lord Chaitanya gives to him through his mouth is coming whatever Lord Chaitanya is inspiring him to speak. And Lord Chaitanya is acting like he's just a regular sannyasi and not the Supreme Lord, and asking questions to Ramananda Roy. So this is text 91. Yayatamam papadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham mama manu vartante manusya partha sarvasa. Translation. According to Lord Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita 4:11, all of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Yeah. The next verse. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this text 92, 10:32-22, it is said that Lord Krishna cannot proportionately reciprocate devotional service in the Madhya Ras. Therefore, he always remains a debtor to such devotees. So gradually, the Lord Ramananda Roy is giving different levels of Krishna consciousness, starting from just following the Varnashram system, and then coming to the point of executing pure devotional service. And every time he expounds one level of spiritual life, then the Lord says, well, please go on explaining further. Please go on explaining further. And then finally he comes to the point of expounding pure devotional service to the Lord. And then the Lord says, yes, this is the proper conclusion, but if you can say something more. So then he goes on to expound the different rasas of devotional service, and then finally he comes to the Madhurya rasa conjugal love, which is the highest of all the rasas. And it's stated that whatever emotions, whatever feelings or relationship are in the lower rasas, it's all contained in the conjugal ras, and then so much more, even more than that, in the conjugal ras. So now he's going to explain the Madhurya ras. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this is text 92, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-22, it is said that Lord Krishna cannot proportionately reciprocate devotional service in the Madhurya ras. Therefore, he always remains a debtor to such devotees. This is text 93. When the gopis were overwhelmed with dissatisfaction due to Lord Krishna's absence from the Rasa Leela, Krishna returned to them and told them, "My dear gopis, our meeting is certainly free from all material contamination. I must admit that in many lives it would be impossible for me to repay my debt to you because you have cut off the bondage of family life just to search for me. Consequently, I am unable to repay you. Therefore, please be satisfied with your honest activities in this regard." Text 94. Although Krishna's unparalleled beauty is the topmost sweetness of love of Godhead, his sweetness increases unlimitedly when he is in the company of the gopis. Consequently, Krishna's exchange of love with the gopis is the topmost perfection of love of Godhead. Purport. Krishna and his devotees become perfectly intimate in conjugal love of Godhead. In other mellows, the Lord and the devotees do not enjoy transcendental bliss as perfectly. The next verse from Srimad Bhagavatam will illustrate this verse. So here, we're so fortunate to receive this confidential knowledge. What is the highest level of love of Godhead? We're in this age of Kali. It's stated, Kaler doshe nidhe rajan astahi eka mahadgunan kirtanad eva Krishna sya mukta sangha param vrajet. That this age of Kali is an ocean of faults. It's just surrounding us everywhere. So many faults. So we need like a simple process to attain self-realization. I was listening to a short clip from a class by Indra Prabhu, and he was saying, we're not qualified to do anything. Of course, speaking mostly about myself. We can't perform austerities. We really can't do meditation properly. We can't do rituals properly. We can't do sacrifices properly. So we need a simple process in this age to attain self-realization. We're really not qualified to do anything else. So the Lord, out of his mercy, has given us this process of Sankirtan, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, I mean, just consider the mercy. We're the most fallen, but at the same time, we're given the highest level of spiritual consciousness that there is, the highest level of love of Godhead, the exchange of love with Krishna and his gopis in the Madhya Ras. So that's how fortunate we are in this age to get that kind of mercy. It's just extreme good fortune to be able to go to that highest level and to have a process that we can actually execute. We can actually do it. You can actually get together and perform this Harinam Sankirtan. And Indra Prabhu states that we should perform this Sankirtan as much as possible. Whenever we can, we should perform this Sankirtan Yajna, because this is the Dharma, the Yuga Dharma, the Dharma for this age. This is how we will attain God consciousness. This is how we will actually realize this highest level of love of God through this performance of this Sankirtan Yajna. We shouldn't neglect this. He states also that whatever activities we're performing in devotional service, whether it's deity worship or collecting funds or cooking, it's all meant to purify us so we can engage in this Sankirtan Yajna of the Lord. And that will actually bring us to this highest level of love of Godhead. We can actually achieve that in this lifetime. There's a verse in Adi Leela, I can remember I think it's Anarpita Chirim Chirat Karuna Avatirya Kalo. That's the first line, that the Lord is so merciful that in this age of Kali, He's given what's never been given before, this highest level of love of Godhead. So it's just amazing to read these verses and to see what actually what we're being given. Because so many people, I mean, in this age, of course, when Prabhupada came, it was like people were saying, is God dead? Maybe God is dead. That was like a common theme you would hear. And people were wondering, is God dead? Is there really a God? But now you don't hear it so much, actually, because of our movement and all of our book distribution and chanting. I think people in general have at least some conception of what God is or who God is. I just don't hear that expression anymore, is God dead, or that question, because of all our preaching activities. So this is our benefit at taking birth at this time in Kali Yuga, that we can understand this highest level of God consciousness. And this level is so high that even God comes under the control of His devotee. Other religions have a conception of God, and God the Father, and we must fear God, we must obey the laws of God. But in the Vaishnava conception, actually, the devotee, in one sense, becomes greater than God, or God comes under his control. So this is how wonderful the Vaishnava conception of God is. What we're giving to people is this highest conception of God, that through the love of God, that actually the Lord becomes under control of his devotee. That's such a wonderful conception. So I'll read a few more verses here. This is text number 95. Although the son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is also the reservoir of all kinds of beauty, when he is among the gopis, he nonetheless becomes more beautiful, for he resembles a Markata jewel surrounded by gold and other jewels. So, yeah, it's explained here that the Lord is never alone. He's always with his devotees. So that makes him even more beautiful. Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, there's a passage that Krishna by himself is not so beautiful, but when he surrounds himself with his devotees, he becomes even more beautiful. That is the full conception of God, of Krishna. Not that God is just sitting on a throne, passing judgment on everyone. But no, he's surrounded with all his loving devotees, engaged in wonderful, loving pastimes with them. That is the complete conception of God. There's also a verse in the Brahma Samhita. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows in the abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, and always worshipped with great reverence and affection by millions of Lakshmis and Gopis. So that's from Brahma Samhita, that Krishna is always surrounded by his gopis and worshipped with great reverence and affection. So let's read text 96. Lord Chaitanya replied, "This is certainly the limit of perfection, but please be merciful to me and speak more if there is more." Okay, text number 97. Ramananda replied, "Until this day, I did not know anyone within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service." So this is Lord Chaitanya's gift to us. Not only explaining the highest relationship with the Lord, Madhya Ras, but then going even beyond that and speaking about the highest relationship within that Madhya Ras. Text 98. Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramananda Roy continued, the love of Srimati Radharani for Sri Krishna is topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly estimated in all revealed scriptures. Text 99. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Sri Krishna, her bathing place, known as Radhakund, is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is supermost and very dear to Lord Krishna. Purport. This verse is from the Padma Purana and is included in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita by Srila Rupa Goswami. It also appears in Adi Leela chapter 4 verse 215 and again in Madhurya Leela chapter 18 verse 8. I think I'll read that verse again. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Sri Krishna, her bathing place, known as Radhakund, is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is supermost and very dear to Lord Krishna. So here, Ramananda Roy is giving even more information about this Madhurya Ras. That what is the highest, can't think of the word, but the highest relationship within this Madhurya Ras is between Radharani and Krishna. So this is like very, very confidential knowledge. But it's only available in Vaishnava Siddhanta, in disciplic succession, coming from, well, the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And Lord Chaitanya, he came to instruct us about this. He came as a devotee. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. He said to surrender unto him and he will reward everything. But that was, he didn't explain the process. He said surrender first and then I'll reward you. But Lord Chaitanya is coming, and even before you surrender, he's giving you the process for how to attain that highest level. So that's the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He's not even asking you to surrender first, but he's just coming and giving you, basically giving you everything you need to attain this highest level of Krishna consciousness. So that's the great mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. They're freely giving love of God. The example is given in Chaitanya Charitamrta about the tree of devotional service, and that tree has the fruits of love of Godhead. And Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva, they broke open that storehouse of love of God, and they distributed those fruits everywhere. To anyone and everyone, they just distributed those fruits. And that was Lord Chaitanya's mission, to distribute these fruits everywhere and give people this highest happiness. And then it stated, when the Panchatattva saw that the people were eating these fruits and dancing and chanting and laughing and becoming happy, then they were very satisfied. They were very, very pleased that this was going on. So Lord Chaitanya came and he instructed us. He instructed his devotees also in this science. He met with Rupa Goswami and instructed him. He met with Sanatan Goswami, gave him instruction. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he instructed, and now Ramananda Roy is speaking, and by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he's also giving instruction. And the Lord himself left 8 prayers of Shikshastakam, basically on chanting the holy names. What is the benefit of chanting the holy names and how to chant the holy names? So that was the Lord's mission, to spread this Krishna consciousness everywhere. Maybe I'll read one more verse, because now there'll be a discussion about Radharani and the rasa dance. When the gopis began to talk amongst themselves, they said, "Dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else." Oh yeah, also about that previous verse, I wanted to mention, Rupa Goswami wrote a book, Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita. And in that book, he explains the same thing. He starts off with Vacha Vegam, Manasa Krota Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Pasta Vegam, Etan Vegan, Yovashaheta Dira, Sarvam Apimam Pritivim Sasasyat. First of all, we have to control our mind and our senses, and in that way we can become Krishna conscious. And then he explains in so many verses, and then he just comes to the same conclusion, that of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. Before that he says there's different processes of devotional service, but pure devotional service to the Lord is the highest, and then the devotional service of the gopis is the highest, and the devotional service of Radharani, that's the highest. And then he also mentions about Radhakund, that of all the places in the universe, Radhakund is the most exalted. And that's what it states in this verse, that previous verse, that Radhakund is as dear to the Lord as Radharani himself. Why is that? Because it belongs to Radharani, and I've also heard it said that Radhakund is filled with the spiritual emotions of Radharani. So it's not just a lake filled with water, but it's filled with Radharani's ecstatic, loving emotions for Krishna. So that's a wonderful book to read, Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, that also gives the highest conclusions of devotional service. So let me read one more verse. This is text 100. When the gopis began to talk amongst themselves, they said, "Dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else." Purport. The name Radha is derived from this verse, Bhagavatam 10:30-28, from the word Anaya Radhita. Yeah, I can't read so well without my glasses. Anaya Radhita, meaning by her the Lord is worshipped. Sometimes the critics of Srimad Bhagavatam find it difficult to find Radharani's holy name, but the secret is disclosed here in the word Aradhita, from which the word Radha has come. Of course, the name of Radharani is directly mentioned in other Puranas. This gopi's worship of Krishna is topmost, and therefore her name is Radha, or the topmost worshipper. So, of course, Lord Caitanya says, I'll read one more verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Please speak on. I am very happy to hear you because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth." So that's what devotional service is. It's a river of unprecedented nectar. We have one book that Rupa Goswami wrote, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada just calls, to keep it simple, he says nectar of devotion. But it actually means, an ocean of nectar which is coming from bhakti. So this is the nectar that we want to taste, at every moment. We want to taste the nectar of bhakti. Because this is the only way we can give up the lower pleasures, the pleasures of this world. It's stated in Bhagavad Gita, the conditioned soul may be restricted from sense gratification, but experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in knowledge. So this is the only way to actually control our senses. And then I was reading yesterday in the 3rd chapter, Krishna says, thus knowing oneself to be higher than the mind, the senses, and intelligence, one should control the sinful enemy of lust by spiritual strength, or by spiritual intelligence, or in other words, Krishna consciousness. So when we experience this higher taste, then we develop spiritual intelligence. And then that spiritual intelligence, we're leaving the door open because it's cold in the hallway. Anyway, what was I saying? So conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust by spiritual intelligence. So that's the only way to do it. You have to have a higher intelligence. You have to have this higher taste. And so that comes from the practice of Krishna consciousness. Just all the practices that we perform, specifically the chanting of the holy names, the Hare Krishna mantra. That's our main practice. And by doing that, we get that higher taste. And we're able to control the senses. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yeah, there's another verse, can't remember if it's the 2nd chapter or the 3rd chapter. One who does not have, one who is not in Krishna consciousness does not have neither a controlled mind nor spiritual intelligence, without which there cannot be any peace. And without any peace, there cannot be any happiness. So if your mind is not controlled, then you can't be peaceful. And if you're not peaceful, you can't be happy. But that all comes from spiritual intelligence. So if you have the spiritual intelligence, if you have the higher taste, then you can control your mind, and then you can be peaceful. And then if you're peaceful, then you're happy. Without peace, there's no happiness. I think everyone would agree with that. So, but just by following this process, we can come to that highest level. We all have a different relationship with Krishna. There's neutral relationship, then there's servant relationship, then friendly relationship. Like Arjuna and Krishna, Arjuna had a friendly relationship with Krishna, and then there's Vatsalya Rasa, a relationship of parents. Just like we have so many relationships with different people. For someone, we're our husband, and for someone else, we're friends, and for someone else, we have our parents, so we have that relationship, or we're parents of a child. So we have all these different relationships with different people. So Krishna has these different relationships with his devotees. And he's just engaging in loving relationships with his devotees. And that's our goal in life. Prema Pumarto Mahan. That's our goal in life, to revive that original relationship with Krishna and go back to Godhead. And we can experience that even in this life. We can experience that love for Krishna even in this lifetime. We don't have to wait till after we die. So that is our mission, to give this highest knowledge to other people. We have this knowledge. This knowledge is there for us. Srila Prabhupada has kindly come and given us this knowledge, this confidential knowledge, these Vedic literatures, Caitanya Charitamrta. So now it's our mission to give this knowledge to other people. Just like if you knew there was a fire in some house and you could rush in and save people, of course without harming yourself, you would rush in and try to save as many people as you could. So this material world, it's explained to be like a burning fire. There's a verse, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Maha Davagnir Nirvapanam. It's a Bhava Mahagnir, it's a great fire. Material world is like a burning fire. So people are burning. In this material world, they're burning. They're on fire. Just like this past weekend, we did a book table in an Indian store. And then we're facing the cash register. We can see all the people there, and we can see their expression, and nobody's happy. Hardly anybody is smiling. They're all in anxiety. In contrast, we're giving out books, we're talking to people, so we're all enlivened by that activity. But you can see on people's faces they're not very happy. So that's our mission, to try to save these people who are burning in this blazing fire of material existence. I mean, if we really think about it, we'd be really remiss if we knew that people are suffering and we can actually do something about it, but we don't care. yeah, go ahead and burn, I don't care. But actually we can do something about it. We have this knowledge, and we can give it to other people. We can go out chanting the holy names on the street. We can distribute books. Wherever we go, we can distribute these small books. It's nice to carry the books with you, and then whoever you meet, you just give them a book. They're not very expensive, these books. And you'll be surprised who you meet. I've had so many wonderful experiences just wherever I go, just giving people a book. And 99% of the time, they will be very happy. They'll say, oh, for me? You're giving me something? Because everything in the material world is just a business relationship. They're working in the store for a boss so they could get some money, or they're working in a bank. So they're working there just because the boss is paying them, and people are buying things, and they're serving the people that are buying things just because they have to. Everything is a business relationship. So when you actually give them something, it touches their heart that you actually care about them, that you're trying to give them something valuable. So that's a really nice way to share Krishna consciousness. There's one devotee coined an expression: distribute books wherever you go instead of going out to distribute books. So in that way we can help people get this knowledge also, because we're actually all God brothers and God sisters. We're all related to Krishna. So every spirit soul is our brother or sister. Every single soul. We're all related. We're not. It's not like, well, you're not my family, and like they say in the Indian culture, family ties are very strong. Whereas in the Western world, the family ties are not as strong. But actually, every spirit soul has a family tie. We're all part and parcel of Krishna, and we all have this potential to experience the highest bliss, the highest happiness, the highest spiritual knowledge. But it just has to be awakened. I was listening to, when we were in McAllen during the Christmas holidays, His Grace Charu Prabhu gave some classes. Very, very inspirational. I would recommend his classes very much. They're on YouTube. Just search for Charu, C-A-R-U, and a separate word, Das, D-A-S, and you'll find his classes. Amazing classes. He said that, well, one thing he said, he was giving classes for 5 years in Australia because there was no one else to give class. And no one ever said anything. Then one day he came to the U.S. When he was in the U.S., he gave a class. I don't remember where he said. And one person came up to him and said, "Oh, you give really wonderful classes. You give the best classes." So that made him realize that just by that appreciation that he had that ability to give class. So he made the point that we should honor whatever abilities devotees have, and we should encourage them in that ability, and that the devotees should, he used the term, sharpen their axe. So whatever you're good at, try to become the best at it. Not perfect, but try to become the best at it. So that was one point he made. Very, very nice point. But he also said that we should just be engaged in planting seeds of devotional service. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we should just try to keep planting seeds for other people to help them on their spiritual journey, on their spiritual path. Because what's happening in this world, you can see the way the world is going. It's not going in a very good place. We say Kali Yuga is the age of quarrel and fighting, so we can see that everywhere. There's just so much quarrel and fighting. So we have the opportunity. We can plant these seeds. Wherever we go, whatever we do, just meditate on planting these seeds. And that will please the entire parampara. There's a progression. It started with Lord Brahma, and then more, came the disciplic succession kept going, and then Madhvacharya came, and then Madhavendra Puri, and then Lord Caitanya, and then it's all leading to the advent of Lord Caitanya and giving us this highest spiritual knowledge. So, Prabhupada left this mission to us. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a pure devotee. He could have delivered the whole world himself, but he's left us this mission, so we can fulfill this mission. And in that way, we also become purified, because Giridhari Swami wrote a Vyasa Puja offering, and he said that distributing books, preaching, that's also sadhana, because we become purified. We become purified by that activity of spreading Krishna consciousness. That is also Sankirtan, our preaching. When we distribute books, that is also the Sankirtan Yajna, because we're spreading the glories of the Lord, and we're spreading the books that Srila Prabhupada has written out of his own ecstasies. And he said on several occasions, he said, I have not written these books. These books are written by Krishna himself. He's dictating these books to me. So, we should just take up this process ourselves and plant as many seeds as possible. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, no one else can be more dear to him than one who delivers this secret to the devotees. He is the most dear person of all. So that is our goal, to become dear to the Lord, to act in such a way that not begging the Lord to come to reveal himself to us, but to act in such a way that the Lord will want to reveal himself to us. So that's the opportunity, the great opportunity, how we can do that by distributing Krishna consciousness. I know when we were traveling on the Radha Damodar party, we used to say, because sometimes we take a break from distributing or have a small festival or something like that, but we used to say, we really need the mercy. We have to keep going out and distributing books. Otherwise, our bhakti will dry up. So we always used to keep that attitude that we have to keep going out. We have to keep distributing. Just staying in the bus, chanting around, eating prasadam, that's not really enough. We really need to step out and give Krishna consciousness to others. That's the only way we'll we'll stay enlivened and actually make progress. Okay, so I think I'll stop there. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Caitanya Charitamrta ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Anyone have any comments or questions? Yes, Vipramoya Prabhu.
Thank you so much for inspiring us to literature about books. Myself started doing a little bit of that when I first came here, based on your encouragement, and I kind of fell away from it before. After hearing your class, I'm going to try it and do it again. So it reminded me of the story of Charu. There's one gentleman who called and asked for some for donation to their radio station in Salt Lake City. So the gentleman asked him, who listens to your radio station? And she said, nobody. He said, well, why are you doing this? It's just to purify my hands. So the man said, he laughed, okay, I'm going to give you a donation. I was thinking the same way sometimes when you go out, it seems like no one wants, at least in my experience, it seems like no one wants, so few people I approach actually take the book. But occasionally someone does. Before you maybe comment on that, how you remain determined to continue distributing books and there's so much rejection.
Well, when I'm out and about, when I meet people, I just give them the book. I don't ask for any money, donation. That's one way to do it. And there are very inexpensive books, like there's on chanting Hare Krishna, there's a small pamphlet. And the devotee just asks for shipping cost. I mean, I send them a little extra. It just costs about 8 cents a book. So that's not very expensive. So you can freely give out those books. Or if you can afford more, the small books are only about 50 cents. So yeah, I just give them out to people. And 99% of the time, they're very favorable to it. They're very happy that you care about them and you're giving them, and you'll be surprised at the response. Like people will say, "Oh, this is what I've been looking for," or "I do meditation and I really appreciate this book," or "I like yoga. Thank you for giving me this." So you'll find that there are people out there just waiting for that seed that you're giving them. And as far as distributing books to people, of course, in the Radha Damodar party, we had a little different technique. There were devotees that were going to the airport and approaching people and trying to sell books, but Radha Damodar party, we were getting donations from people. We'd give them an incense or not so much flowers, but a lot of times incense, asking for a donation and then giving the book. So some devotees objected to that, but then Prabhupada said it's okay if the books are going out. So that's how we were doing it quite a bit in Radha Damodar party, but both ways are good. Just approaching people, just put the book in their hand, say a little something about it. The main thing is to be friendly to people. That's the main thing. Have a smile on your face and compliment them or whatever it is. So, "Oh, you have a lovely smile. I like your smile." That makes them smile more. Um, you know, just, I mean, Vaisheshika says that when you go out on book distribution, it should be overflow from your sadhana. So your sadhana was so good that you're enlivened in Krishna conscious, you're happy, you're jolly, you're feeling blissful. So you just go out and you meet people. Hi, hello, how are you? You just greet them. That's a good way, just greet people. If you say hello, most people have to say hello back. You just go to someone, you say Hare Krishna, they'll say what? Or they'll just ignore you. So I found it's better just to say hello, hi, hello. Then they look at you and like, oh, hello. So you broke the ice. That's a good way to break the ice. Just say hello with a smile, and then you can say something. You look like a spiritual person, or I like your smile, and then give them a book, and then you can talk to them a little more. So that's, you know, one technique. So, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. If we want to distribute books, then Krishna will empower us. That's what I found. If you have that desire, then Krishna will fulfill that desire. You just have to pray. Right. Okay, thank you all for listening so attentively. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Caitanya Charitamrta ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.